everyone, welcome to Naija Diaries. This is Kumuyi Oluwakemi Mercy, your host on live session. And today, in live session, we'll be talking about promise. I'm very sure that this is a very relatable topic. I know at some point you've promised people, and at some point people have promised you. And promise making has no age limit. You would see that some very little kids, probably age 4 to 10, they'll be like, "Mommy, I'll buy you an aeroplane. Mommy, I'll buy you this." That's what we're talking about. Assuring someone that you do something for them. Now, but then we have empty promises also, which I'm very sure that most of us have actually been a recipient of this very thing. Now, people have promised to do something for you, but at some point you just see that this person is not doing what they promised. Why do people make empty promises? One, to make you happy. You know that at some point you might be so sad, and the only thing that can actually lift you or lift your mood is actually a promise. E.g., people that are in a relationship. The guy knows I will not marry you, but because he knows that, oh, my baby is sad. He'll be like, "Baby, don't worry, I will marry you." And you've been someone that wants to get married at all costs, or you want to get married to that person, or you feel like, oh, age is not by your side again. You'll be like, "You marry me. Are you for it?" So sometimes people actually make empty promises because they want to make you happy, because they want to lift your mood. There's another set of empty promises. Another reason people make empty promises is to make themselves happy. Yes, might sound funny, but it is. You know, you might be amidst a lot of people, let's say like 20%, and they're already saying something, probably more like a bidding, something like that. And someone just stands and will be like, "Oh, I want to get you with this is tomorrow." Not because they are capable, not because they actually want to do it, but to feel good, to make themselves happy, to give a false representation. Example of this is people that are working on the wealthy bosses. Your boss, people come around to greet your bosses, and probably be like, this is my boy, this is my girl. And probably out of excitement or out of, oh, I want to create an impression to my guests, they'll be like, "Oh boy, go and pick that car key and drive around. I'm going to get you Galaxy S68 tomorrow. I'm going to get you Galaxy something Fold 4 tomorrow." But it's a lie. Why? Because they want to create an impression. I think I came across a comment or a post probably 2 months back or last month of somebody called some person's house, and the person said that these people give probably their mentees cars or something, and probably after 2 days or 3 days they go back to retrieve after they had already posted online. Why? Because they want to create an impression. They want people to feel like, oh, this is a good boss, this is a good mentor. Oh, and it's actually, that's very hard. It's actually going to draw people near to them. Now, for example, let's say a comedian or a content creator, probably they get something for people that works with them, and they record the moment and everything. People would, it is not something difficult. This is going to make people like them naturally. It is very, very normal. But now, what now happens to these promises that are just empty? Somebody told me that, "Oh, Kemi, I was there when this person gave this person a car. And I think the following week or next 2 weeks, the person was just jumping on bikes." And he said, I was like, this guy, where's your car? He said, what's it back? Something like that. The person actually did that, probably to create an impression or to just look good to people and to feel good. This is very bad. And I know you know. Stop doing that. Stop shiver. This kind of empty promises has actually led some people into losing their properties. I think last year, 2022, we saw posts of people. I know that people that can actually relate can relate. We have Gary and we had the Red King. Red King would just probably drive past you and probably splash dirty water on you. And he will come out of the car and give you 500,000. I don't know. And they're going to record it. And they're going to show you how. You know, at some point, he just started saying, oh, he's doing investments. And people started bringing billions of naira, millions of naira. Why? Because he already created an impression. And we don't know, or we never knew, that it was actually a form of acting. But, you know, this created an impression, and people were like, oh, this person is generous. This person is good. You might actually comment on the guy's post and be like, oh, because you made this comment, send your account number. He might send 50,000. I share freaky daddy. You get something like that. And in the case of the Gary seller, that one too, she was giving 1 million, in fact, with receipts. People that are actually recipients of the promises fulfilled actually shared so many things. You know, these people are doing this to create an impression. And at the long run, they tend to cut away with people's fortune. Because so many people actually invested in these schemes. They scattered lives, scattered families. In fact, we even got to know later that there are actually some people, they promised some things that they didn't even do for. So people will actually make you see what they actually want you to see. In the case of this Gary seller, she had so many close friends, and most of them never knew that she was a scammer. So empty promises. People make this because they want to create an impression. They want to feel good. You know that this person is not actually naturally fine. But because you know now, yeah, this person is a giver. Ah! Beauty queen. King of the coast. The most beautiful woman in my life. Mommy. So, people actually make promises just to feel good. And please, you have to be very, very careful so you don't lose your life or your fortune. Okay, away from seeking validation and trying to look generous to people, another thing is to repay you of what you've done for them. People make promises because they feel indebted to you. Yes. I had this very experience, and it was very, very funny because I was like, make promises. You know, I met this person is more like my friend, an older friend, an elder. You know, I saw him, I think we met somewhere, and he just complained that, oh, my wife and my kids are not around, and I just want to, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay, I'm going home, and I'm going to make some meals, and I don't know, just send your driver over to pick up. Then he said, fine. This driver came over, picked what I said I was going to give. I think after eating it, Babati Jeonyo, and you know, it was already, it felt okay, like he just called me. Hello, Kemi. I said, hello. Hi, sir. He said, can I ask you a question? I said, ask, sir. Can I include you in my payroll? I was like, I know I was very, very confused. I said, sorry, I don't understand. He said, can I be paying you salary? I was like, sir, what did I do? He said, I really enjoyed this meal. I was like, you know, for someone like me, you can't impress me, actually. I was like, okay, I did this out of thoughtfulness. This is someone I know the family, I know the children, and I did this because I just want to do it. And you are promising me, Kini, I want this, then, I just told him that, see, I don't deserve this. This is just a one-time thing. We might not even get to see in 100, 200 years. He was like, no, I want to be paying you salary. Because of just this one thing, I want to be paying you salary. I said, okay. Esma, this is probably the second year. And Shishi, I have not received. You know, I don't know. So people feel like, oh, okay, I am indebted to this person. So they feel like, See, you know, when I was telling somebody, I said, sorry, I tried pairing it, like, okay, I gave you food, and you want to be giving me salary for the rest of my life. Kojora now. You know, I already knew that this has no basis. Now, I'm very sure if it was for someone or for someone else, they'd be like, they'll be so happy. In fact, they would have started drafting their plans each month because, you know, at least this stipend will be entering. But I already knew that, no, this is vain. This does not make sense. You know, he came again, this time around himself. I'll be like, I have not forgotten. In fact, I just got a contract. But by next month, I would include you in my. I was like, that's so. Have you taken care of your family first? You won't go impress me. No, it's not possible. No, people make these empty promises sometimes because they feel like, oh, they feel like they are owing you. They feel like they are in debt. They feel like, oh, I want to repay this person. And how best can I repay this person? And, you know, eventually they make empty promises. So, my dear, I'm very sure that some people might have been a recipient of this. You know, probably they promised you jobs. They promised you so many things. In fact, some people promised you marriage. They didn't marry you. Maybe, no. It's not their fault. It was because they feel like, oh, this girl don't suffer with me. So if I know compensate her with marriage, it not go make sense. That might actually be. You know, the guy might feel like, oh, this girl has been with me through thick and thin. And oh, let me marry her as compensation. My dear, oh, para for any hold him affair. Some people will call you. And they'll say, see. Mo, why you commissioner for something. My dear. Eventually, you'll be like, after 2 or 3 months, hello? If I did my even hand calls. Sorry. I dedicate my life, my dear. Don't screw up. I'll keep supporting you, my dear. Only to 5 years, get to communicate. I got here, bro. Psst. My dear, I'll pick your call. Bam bam Barry. Bogwe. Ni. I will never leave your side. Support you.
You get it?
Okay.
If you don't get it, forget about it.
So people actually make empty promises because they feel like, no, I should do this for this person, or because this person has done something for me, so they deserve this. I've said all of this. But then, how do we deal with empty promises? But one thing I want us to understand is that no matter your status, your age, your capacity, your human network, you would at some point experience empty promises. So how do you deal with empty promises? Number one, accept that empty promises are part of life. Accept that they would happen. Another way to deal with this is to understand why the person is yet to fulfill that promise, or why the person is not fulfilling that promise. You see, this actually has steps. For someone like me, I would not even try. I will not ask you, because me alright. I will not ask you. It's until probably you come up and start explaining yourself. Fine. Now, for serious promises now, try to understand why this promise or promise is not fulfilled. You know, part of it is self-evaluation. You know, sometimes people will promise you things and they just feel like this person is not serious. That could actually be the reason the promises tend to be empty. They feel like anytime I try to help, it will help, alright. There are people like that. They actually mean the promises made, or they actually have the intention of fulfilling those promises, but they feel like this person is not helping him or herself. Because some people will promise you things and you have this entitlement mentality that, in fact, the person that promised you will actually feel embarrassed, like, give me more promise there. I'm going to fulfill it. Without bugging them, doing all sort of things. But some people go as far as trying to dent these people's images. Yes, it has happened. It is happening. It is happening, and it will still happen. Do self-evaluation. It is very important. And after doing the self-evaluation, try to ask questions. Yes, that is part of how you can actually understand the situation on ground. There was a time I traveled, and I met with somebody, and he already promised that we're going to see when I come around, whenever I'm in town. I got to the town. I had an engagement in that town. Then I called like, oh, I have a friend here. And I called. I was like, what happened to this person? Is this person okay? Is this person alright? Okay, yeah. When I was not what I came to do, I left. I did not ask questions. But 3 months later, this person needed something from me and chatted me up. Then I said, okay, I'm going to help you with this, but what happened on so date? He was like, you remember? I said, yes, I remember because I was embarrassed. Now, what if I came solely for you? Is this how you would have done? Then he was not trying to explain. So sometimes when you don't ask questions, you won't know, you won't understand the situation. Sometimes these people probably ran into problem, into trouble. In fact, there was a time I called a friend, he wasn't picking up then, I just logged up. After a year or something, he just told me he was jailed. I didn't try to understand that sometimes they experience unforeseen circumstances. There are some things that, in fact, mouth of it talk and finish. So that is actually very important. Ask questions to know. Then another thing is, do not have them in mind. You know, you try to act so bitter to them because they promised you and they failed. I know that autotory, yeah, but then, my dear, that's be calming down. You don't have to be bitter. Someone that promised you now and couldn't fulfill it could actually come to you and even give you or do something that is beyond what they already promised you. It happens. It has happened and it will happen. So don't be bitter. I know it is normal. We are human. We feel neglected. We feel like we are nothing to these people, but it is all right. Another thing is, see the good in them. Somebody very close to me would say that no matter what you do to me, so long as you have done something, that's one thing that is good for me. You see that one thing? That's what I will use to evaluate your life. That is what I will use to tell people that, no, this person is good. Yes, there are people like that. See the good in them. Spread good news alone. Somebody will come around to them and say, this person, he promised. Promise me. I know that it happens, but let's be calming down. Then, dear empty promise makers, this will be calming down. It's not a multi-promise people. It's not a multi-promise people. Actually, there are categories of people that actually promise you and forget. Yes, there are people like that. In fact, this very moment, I just remember that I promised somebody something and I forgot it. I just remember, nah. So there are people that actually promise you and forget. Now that I'm recording now, I'm going to write it down later so that I can call the person and explain situations of the person that, hey, it's not that I don't want to do this thing, but I forgot it. I just remember now. So that could actually help you. So now for people who actually make promises and forget, I think you can get a jotter or a diary that you can actually write things down, jot things down. So that's actually going to help you. I hope I have helped you. After you've done all this, please forgive them. Yorubas will say, you know I'm Yoruba, yeah? Omode ole jeko kumar valo. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Please forgive them. I know that they have hurt you. They've not met your expectations. Yeah, please forgive them. Another one, the pata is to move on. Don't let that person meet you at that point that left you. Yes. Because the moment you don't forgive them, you will be so static that even your static will be, even other static will be scared of your static. I don't know if you understand. I want to perspire to aspire. Yes. You'll be so static that even the person will be like, I'll move forward. I hope you've been able to learn a thing or the other from this session. When you come across this video, do not forget to watch, comment, like, and share. I'll be waiting to reading from you. This is Naija Diaries, and we love you so very much. See you soon.
You can kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, Naija Diaries.